judgment. It's crazy. So today the universe offered so much to me. Um, Yesterday I did a reading a little earlier than I normally go on, and it ended up being truly it ended up being about love, even though I didn't think it was going to be. I thought that it was going to be about the earth and there's a lot of rainbows and like things are starting to happen a little more swiftly around me. Also, this is the Judgment card. Where is it? I'm going to show it to you guys in just regular rider weight form. See that? It's really great. Oh, it's so much easier to use the phone that I'm holding, but my phone isn't working because it's like so outdated. I just can't keep up. It's kind of an interesting card. I pulled the moon before I went out today, and also before I went out, I kind of like set an intention that this love message, wherever it was coming from, I needed some sort of confirmation, some sort of sign. I wasn't going far, literally like 8.5 minutes away to go and thrift it up with my girls and then pick up my oldest. And while I was there at the thrift store for like 3 hours, nothing really came up for me, really at all. Like, really at all. And then, this is going to be really hard to say, but like, so after I picked up my girl, we were driving up the road, literally, like, you take one turn to get to her, where I have to pick her up. And the thrift store is like literally on the way, so like, it's barely any driving. And on this road is also like my ex's house, and like many years of my life as a very good friend of my ex. So like a large portion of my oldest life, and we have a lot of memories there. And there's like a lot of bus stops along the way that normally she would be taking, but because I picked her up and we were going for like A&W, it was just like we weren't really paying attention to the bus stops, but at one of the bus stops, I caught this guy, probably like about maybe between me and her age, like maybe like 30-ish, and he was holding a bouquet of red roses. And I was like, wow, I never see that. Like, I just never, you never see that. Like, people, it's June. I don't know, like maybe because there's no hospital like very close. I mean, these are red, like red roses, very romantic. Um, there was 12 roses. Like it was a romantic gesture. Anyways, that happened, and then I had to go back to the grocery store because I forgot peanuts for the crows. Can you believe that? Oh, a horrible crow lady. But I went back to the store, and I also needed boxes because like I need boxes for like my work, for like organizing a bunch of stuff. And I really like banana boxes because my mom liked banana boxes. That's what she always used when she moved, and like she was a mover and a grower. She moved way too much. Like mother, like daughter. I'm not moving. Everybody in the house probably thinks we might be, but like, don't worry, we're not moving, guys. So I grabbed my boxes, grabbed my peanuts, and okay, so not only did I see like 5 couples that were like so cute, like doing their thing. I saw them in ways that were like very connected to me. Like one was the cat food aisle because I was getting cat food for the crows because they like kibble, and I was like, you know, judging all the cat food and picking what I know they would like best. In the store that I don't normally shop at, it's like a store that I knew would have banana boxes, but like it's kind of fancy. Like they sell like really expensive fresh pressed juices and stuff, and I don't go there a lot. But anyways, I went there. I also saw somebody that has like been living overseas, and I didn't know they were here, and I just happened to be talking about this person because they have like a lot of like a wealth of knowledge to do with like mental health and stuff, and I was passing on this info to somebody. And I was like, this person I know is like very helpful and like very kind and very empathetic and very compassionate and in a position of, you know, pretty good stature, and like if you want the info, like here you go. And then I saw them like out of the blue. I was like so like shocked by it that like I couldn't, you know, they're very fast persons. So they just kind of like disappear. I didn't even have time to like process the fact that like what, I haven't even mentioned this person's name in like 4 years. Last we talked was like 2 years ago, and they were overseas. And like I don't know why I brought them up the other day. They have tons of connections that I could have chosen, but I chose this person, and then boom, there they are like in the store, and like, oh, welcome back to reality. And also they were in a very romantic place. I don't know if they are anymore because the conversation that they were having on the phone seemed to be like maybe leading up to perhaps some stress, but like, I mean, who isn't stressed out? But yeah, so, you know, there's some fun facts. Whoa. My reading last night was very sun. It was very sun energy. Also very beach energy, which is interesting because I spent a lot of time at the beach. Like every card was like a beach until the last card, which was the Page of Wands. And I almost kind of feel like the Page of Wands has slipped into this little costume here, like being in a position of judgment. So I just want to pull a couple more cards and like wrap this whole bouquet of love up, because I know for myself, like I'm not actively pursuing any kind of like I'm writing some music, and it has a lot to do with like one person and a lot of things to do with love. That's why my voice is kind of strained a little bit right now because I'm kind of trying not to talk too loud. Also, please don't forget I have this masterpiece. Sorry, it's not available. It's mine. I'm pretty sure I know who did it, but it's cute. And there was a lot of cups in this reading as well last night. So, but yeah, I got the moon, and we just pulled Judgment. So I feel like there's definitely like some sort of preceding the Judgment card. The sun signifies a period of joy, right? I really feel like we're transitioning. That's the word that they're using right now. Also, it's June 6th. It's a pretty special day. I feel like we're transitioning into a time when like relationships with self are very acceptable as like relationships. And I think that we need to be able to take care of ourselves. You know, it actually really is interesting because like up on this wall, you can kind of see it. Like I'm trying to point to it, but like right here, I got this picture like maybe like a week and a half ago. And I was like, oh my god, like these, besides crows, like I love LOVE. I love lovebirds. And like I love this picture. So it's just really neat. I don't know, like I don't know what I'm trying to say. I'm like super slow, and I don't know why. It's so much is happening around me. That's why, like, I planned this whole thing out in my garden and none of it happened. And instead, I have this like balcony of like pink. Everything is pink. And like this little hummingbird came up to my balcony and it was like just holding itself there and like extremely overwhelmed by these like flowers, I think. And just like, what the heck? I never seen this here before, you know? Like all of a sudden, I just have this like glorious plethora of like pink flowers. And I went and bought more. So it's like, I'm writing about this kind of stuff and I'm like feeling it because I've never really written before this way. Like I'm writing in all these kind of new ways. I used to really internalize everything and now I'm like externalizing a lot of stuff. And I think what happens is you tap into that kind of like energy. And even though you're not, like, I'm not specifically interested in that kind of relationship, it's like part of me is still connecting some sort of like, you know, like why even wires. Like I feel like more birds have been like interacting with me in these ways. Like I came home tonight with like all my stuff from the thrift store and this bird was like singing as if it was on stage. Like it was so cute and, you know, celebrating, right? And judgment is like a time of, this card is really actually a time of like celebrating the fact that like we came through, you know, like we came through for ourselves. Nature is coming through, love is happening. You know, love is happening everywhere, not just on this planet. Love is happening like in birds, love is happening on the other side. um I'm really like when I'm seeing videos too on like Facebook reels, even the stuff that has been really sad over the past like while, I'm actually like seeing sort of like another layer of something that's much more positive than you could ever know, you know? And it's almost like I don't want to talk about it because it's like when you laugh at an inappropriate time and it's just like, oh my God, like how could that, you know, I couldn't control myself. But I'm just nervous. It's sort of like that. And this week is also mental, I think it's this month. I don't know. There's something going on with men's mental health. I'm not really tapped into like all of that stuff too much. There's a couple artists I've been following. Um, you know, about 6 years ago, I was really connected to somebody who was in men's trauma work, and we had like some very kind of close discussions as friends. And he like came and held my baby, and it was like a really beautiful moment. And he's in a great relationship. So there's been some openings of like sort of dialogue and like experiences that are really around men's trauma, which I feel like is really important as well with this judgment card. I feel like there's a lot of like people in general, not just like um not just on Facebook, but like people that are not able to be as open, you know, of a book about their trauma. And I think a lot of it has to do with family. A lot of it has to do with like the court systems, and that's why this card is coming up as well. Uh, you know, it's really hard to figure out where to start with all of that. And if your purpose in life isn't really around that, and if you weren't like spiritually prepared or like prepared before this life to endure that kind of stuff and like unpack it and be a part of that whole revolution, it can be really sad and exhausting. And, you know, I really feel that a lot of people end up holding that kind of trauma, that kind of like those wounds and, you know, injustice and taking the brunt of it. And then, you know, a lot of people get sick. And it's just like, it's sort of like nature's perspective and like judgment's perspective, like the universe's perspective versus the perspective of people who are like, well, that's the way it is, you know, that's life. It's frustrating. It's really frustrating. I think the wall, you know, the wall between those people who experience injustice and the people who think that they are actually like supporting justice and creating it and providing it is one that is really unnecessary. And it happens in mental health too, with people who are, you know, I like to call it diversity, and some people like to call it like, you know, disabled or abled, right? And I find that also really prevents people from healing and becoming ready for you know, not just red roses, but like also a functioning life and a relationship with yourself, which is really where it's at. So the Judgment, you know, being, that's a really great card. It's the major arcana. It's, you know, definitely serving the purpose. I was going to do like a layout. I want to do a big Celtic cross reading, but I don't want to do that because I'm going to do some writing and some music and stuff like that. So I'm just going to pull a couple more cards because I do take signs from the universe quite seriously. And all of these people that were in my reading, if you like saw my live, which should still be there, unfortunately my computer does not have the best camera, and my mom left me this phone 4 years ago, so you can imagine like just how like outdated it is. The camera's great on it and it still texts, but I can't even like press buttons. I can like barely play music on YouTube. So yeah, it's outy. It's like, no, I'm not part of the club no more. Not part of the club no more. Okay. But with all that said and done, the people that were in the cards, see, oh, I got that card every time. I'm going to see if I can find some of these cards. Just one. This one was in it, right? There's a couple there. What else was in there? This card was in it. Two of Swords. It's kind of a bit of a trust card. Sort of having to make a decision. This is the card that I got today. I got the moon. It was like a full moon in my house. This card was in it. A couple. I mean, there's lots of cards in here. I got this card twice in 2 weeks with 2 rainbows. So, and I explained what the rainbow looked like to my daughter today, who has to listen to so much of my stuff that I talk about. This card was in it. And I was finally able to really like let it all go, because you know what? This card was in it too. It's a celebration card. So that's confirmation that there's a lot of weddings. This card is in it. There's a couple up here. It's hard to see, but there's just this cute couple. Aw. So you know what I mean? Like there was just a lot of beach, a lot of, this is just like the name of the deck card. And I always tell my kids, if you get that card, you're like so special. And they are. They're very special. I did get this card during some time. Like I think there's a lot of family trauma, but I do see a lot of rising, right? This card came up, you know, less victimizing. I mean, the system, it really kind of breaks people's conscience. Like people know that they're not being victims. They know that they're telling the truth. People know that they're trying to get justice. People know that they're trying to like lay it out on the table, right? And this card I got as well, the sun. It's pretty obvious that the sun creates rainbows. I mean, come on. The sun is justice. Like the sun is so like perfect, and it's like wildness. It's so wild. So wild and free. Yeah, I think the very first reading I ever did too, that I think about it here on this channel, was the Lovers. Like it's when I got my other deck. There was an ace card in there as well, the Ace of Cups. I didn't see it. It didn't want to come out. It was like, no, too special. I'm too secretive. Doing my thing. But this card is like inevitable. My life is always up in the air. It's just I have so much stuff that I'm doing all the time. And this YouTube video came up on my feed, and it was like, if you have a graveyard of like projects, you know, you might be like this M-type future person. And I was like, no. I'm not going to listen to somebody with like a robotic voice tell me that like I have too much going on, because you can never have enough projects when you're creative. So what? Like, do you guys think I can do it? I'm starting like a business, and I already have a business, and I have 3 kids, and I'm a single mom, and I like metaphysical healing arts, and I like, making content, and I'm just learning like a lot of those things. And what else am I doing? Like, I don't know. I'm starting a bunch of stuff again. And now I'm talking about love. So it's, relationship time. It's been slowly building. I think I mentioned that to you last night. It has been slow, like very slow. But I did get on here at 11:11. It's just, it wasn't working on my phone. Very magical number. What else did I see today? What else did I see? I know I saw stuff that I saw like with my heart, because I felt a lot of different things. Like at one point, my heart just like slowed down, and like as a dreamer, like I've done a lot of dreaming work and dreaming exercise and taking some courses, and like I know this, that when my inner dreamer is like, do you feel this? Do you feel this heartbeat? Do you feel this, like, do you feel this moment right now? Like, are you dreaming? Are you feeling it? Like, are you feeling your dreams? And I'm like, yes, I always am. Like, they're always there. But it was very special because it was like my heart, like it was like my soul, my heart, my soul were like, guess what? This is a moment of love, and take the time. Take the time. Judgment is a beautiful thing. So many people are rising and getting back out of stuff. Like I watched this really beautiful person 10 years ago. They put this poem out, and it was all about like it's being a temporary person, and like, just very real, deep issues, subjects that when we rise from stuff like that, it's like, because it happened because of heartbreak. Like so much of this world is about the natural desire to be with another person, share life, share memories, share problem solving, co-create, co-regulate. And in this poem, this person mentioned, right, like this many marriages end in divorce, and this many relationships end with like abuse, and trigger warning, this and that. And it got really deep, and sharing that and learning to share that, even just like with yourself, right? Like even just, I have like thousands of audio notes on my phone that have followed me for the last 20 years through my like address. I'm very high tech. .com, that I'm so happy I have, because even when I listen to it, it's like super vulnerable, right? Like, and some of them are like secret recordings that maybe like I should hopefully like never, no one should ever know that I took them, like in an office somewhere or something, right? But I needed it for me to know that I could validate myself, right? Because some stuff is just very validating. Some people's behaviors are very invalidating, right? Okay. I'm just going to do the middle of the deck. The Page of Cups. I love the fish in this cup. I've always loved this fish in this cup because it's like a fish out of water, and it's like, hi, I'm in your cup. Like, here I am. And it's like a reflection of yourself when you're, a fish out of water. A fish out of water, like it's an uncomfortable place to be, right? Like it's, you wouldn't normally find that, right? And so this is like, this card has always been a reflection for me of like when you're out of the ordinary, and like you wouldn't expect something like that to happen, right? Welcoming things that you wouldn't expect to happen is like truly a way to shift. Like shifting is hard sometimes. Um, it really is. Like, I don't know. I feel like freedom is also very important in this card. Freedom is like, is essential. My mom's big thing was like, love is freedom. Like, that was like, okay, this is like private information, but she's not with us anymore, so I can say it. But like, her passwords would be like, love is freedom, or like, freedom is love, you know, or like her names on like dating sites, her little tagline would be like, freedom, love. And it was always so cute because, you know, that's really important. Like, the freedom to love the way that you need to love, it should never end, right? Like, you should never sacrifice, you know, the way that you want to show up, right? Because how you love a person is like essentially how another person is willing to be loved. And it's very hard sometimes to be loved when you're just showing up as somebody that you like think that you need to be for another person, right? So this card is sometimes also a message for me of like self-acceptance. You know, radical self-acceptance is so much more powerful than other people accepting you, right? But um all of the pages remind me of the Fool as well. It's always just like, go do it. Time to travel, time to go, time to feel it, you know, time to experience it. This is an emotional message too. It's like, I love emotions, I love feelings. Like, I don't think they get I don't think people get hyped up enough about them sometimes. And you know, I just from my like own experience, I'm very willing. Like, I'm a very willing person in like conversations or like parties or like in social situations or on dates, right? Like, I'm quite shy. I'm quite um reserved, and you know, I don't share everything all at once. And I'm not a social butterfly, but I can be a social butterfly as long as I have my boundaries, right? And I still think communication is important, right? And I still think self expression, and again, like radical self expression, if I'm going to express myself, it's not going to be like, you know, what do you want me to wear? Like, metaphorically speaking, or like, what do you want me to say? Or like, where's my script, you know? Because I will get uncomfortable. And I think in conversations with people that I know already, like brother in law, you know, sisters, my mom, like people that I know well, I feel like I'm one that's willing. I'm willing to like take it a little extra step further and like ask how you feel, or like be willing to express how I feel. Like, and sometimes it's not always pleasant, and sometimes it's like, you know, maybe this is just for me, right? Maybe this isn't to be shared, or like maybe this person's having a bad day and like they don't want to be cheered up, right? Um, but I never feel like it's healthy to repress, right? And I think a lot of us do. I've done it. Like, you know, when I'm tired and I'm like at a party and people want to like talk and stuff like that, um, I tend to even just like not talk, right? And I guess like I really notice when people, this doesn't bother me anymore, but I would really notice like when people, you know, especially in like my paternal side of the family, because there was a lot of like blockages, but they just couldn't talk about what happened, you know, or like feelings about what happened, or like the reality, you know, because it was so grave or whatever. You know, there was separation, there was like trauma. And I was never like that. Like, I always thought that that was just like a natural way. Like, it's built into me to be, you know, to be able to have a therapeutic approach to communication and just, you know, talk about it if there's a fight, or work it out if there's an issue, you know. And in many, many of my relationships, I've repeated these patterns with the people in my family that I never really was able to jive with. And then those relationships where I'm repeating those patterns end up being relationships where it's like one-sided, like I'm doing all the work, right? And I'm not like, hey, I'm doing all the work and like you owe me some work. But if you don't want to be parallel and, join up, or, at least intertwine now and then, or reciprocate, then it's not worth it, right? My investment is just going into, nowhere. And it's an emotional one because it's an emotional connection. The page represents curiosity and creativity. It encourages an open mind to new possible ideas. So yeah, like a fish out of water. I feel like it's also just like just be open to something different, something a little different. And I don't know, like I don't know where he's going. She, he, them. Of course, Paige. I feel like it's in this sense, it's more of a like sort of like a trip, like an emotional kind of journey, like when you're like excited about something like a wedding or like a reunion, or like a date or a party, something that's like a little bit more exciting, and you kind of get like nervous, like there's like you have to choose things like what you're gonna like how you're gonna express yourself and like what you're gonna look like. I feel like all that stuff is it's really important, and like I don't really do a lot of stuff like that anymore. Like I've been very homebody, like been homebound, and but I can definitely say that like I spent a good 10 years of my life from like about 29 to 39, like returning Saturn when I was 29 was like a major milestone for me. Like I ended up meeting some really special people that I'm very close with now. I don't see them as much anymore, but I made it like intentionally about these relationships, And I was in a relationship for some of the time, like half of the time, and I learned so much about relationships by being open, like being this Paige, being like always in touch with myself emotionally and like inquiring with myself, like, what is this doing for me? And like, how is this conversation, you know, building me up? And like, also learning how to be careful, right? Because I made mistakes a lot of the time too. Like, how is this not serving me? Like, can I trust this person? Or like, why did this person do this? Right. I thought we were like, on the same page, but we weren't. And that happens sometimes, and it can really stunt you. It can affect like your growth. It can affect, how you interact with people that you might be interested in. And, you learn to watch your energy, and you learn to just stay in touch with yourself and like stay close. Now I stay pretty close to home because I know when it's not going to be worth it, right? I've learned that. I've learned that with family. I've learned it all the hard way too. Like the easy way is not necessarily always the better way. And my mom would always be like, you always do things the hard way. And it would be hard for her. And, of course I would end up having to learn the hard way, but I would actually like learn, whereas I think a lot of people get stuck in like just not learning, not being open, not risking things, right? And I think a certain amount of risk is necessary. We're already here. It's already a big risk being here, Staying stuck in fear and reluctancy is just more uncomfortable, believe it or not. And I've been in like some very uncomfortable places with very uncomfortable things by choice, but now I just stay home because I know not to be involved in that kind of stuff. But my view of it is different, right? My view of it is more like that's silly, right? Instead of like that sucks, because I used to be easily hurt and easily like I feel easily rejected, right? But then I realized that what I was doing was actually just rejecting myself. That it's okay that I feel those things, but it doesn't mean that I'm, you know, unlovable. And I don't need to believe that. I don't need to adopt that idea. So we got the world. It's interesting. The world and judgment together. Such a beautiful dance. It's so neat because, like, actually, that's so funny. Today, I got these beauties, and it's kind of like, you know, the whole world. I got the whole world in my hands. I know that's cheesy. If I was really gonna like do all the things that happen in my head on my channel, it might turn into a bit of a crazy fest. But these are so cool and so beautiful. I'm really excited for the wind and the rain and this crazy January chill to like leave our presence so that we can fully express ourselves outside. We're such little wimps, me and my girls. But these are so special. I love them. It's like the dance, you know? The dance of love. Try to put on some music and get these outside. Okay, the world though. Oh my goodness, the world. The whole world. We've got like the major symbols of strength, wisdom, knowledge, love, right? The lion, the eagle. I think it's the virgin. And the bull, the cow, the oxen. It's like my mermaid deck. The upper torso, just so vulnerable. Maybe I'll pull a card from it just to go with that one for fun. Yeah, I feel like my reading I thought last time was going to be about the world. I thought it was really going to be about like the elements of the earth and like how, you know, because the rainbow that I saw a couple nights ago was just so different. Like it was a painting, like it was like blended in this way that was just so watercolorish and like just I've never seen it so like beautiful, you know? I felt like I was in it. I felt like looking at it, I was so locked into it, you know? And it didn't feel like it was just where I was. Like I felt like the whole world was experiencing it, you know? Like it was many worlds. And this card is like really speaking to me of what I thought that I was going to be reading about, which was, you know, which is interesting because like I did get elements of the lion and the two of cups, right? There's this lion with eagle wings, and then I got there's the emperor. I don't know if there was much Taurus energy or Virgo energy. I really don't know, but I'm a Capricorn. Those are my two complementary signs. But when I think of like being the world, I think of like diversity. Everyone is welcome. You know, everyone is here to be here, and you know we're meant to rely on the universe and the laws of the universe, and the universe is meant to provide us with all of that. But there's a lot going on, right? It's just a lot of imbalance, and you know, it becomes, instead of a dance of celebration and diversity and, you know, many, oh, there's a star. So sneaky, that star. it becomes a dance of, anger and rage and whatnot. And that's a job. Like, that's a job that's going to happen. And that's sort of what I thought was coming out last week. But then all these like couples were showing up, and it was like, I just totally folded this card accidentally. Now it's always going to be obvious that it's the card I always get. Love, 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 love. I feel like I'm getting a Beatles song coming into my head. Yeah, it ended up being about love. And then like tonight, the Ice Cream song from the Freedom Sessions came up by Sarah McLachlan. That whole album is really cute. Your love is better than ice cream. There's ice cream in my freezer that I hid. It's chocolate ice cream too. Okay, let's find a little bit more out about the world. Let's backtrack, go backwards. I still feel like that shift is happening. I've been having a lot of dreams about it where I'm kind of like on the surface of the earth. But like I'm also in a safe little spot, like a little house, a little abode. My energy has not been like very high and very fast, but the energy around me has been. Like tonight I came home from getting my forgotten items. I got like cold brew and like some lactose free milk for someone, and I got some peanuts for the pros, and I got 6 banana boxes for all my stuff for my business. And there was like 20 cars parked outside, and I could barely even get in. I could barely get out. They were already like getting here. And then like people were having a great time and having fun, and it was like a very happy energy. And I was like, if I had to go to that party right now, I'd probably ask if I could go lay down on the couch. So that's me. This is what I am. This is what I'm doing. This is where I'm at. This is how I'm showing up for myself. Even when my kids are giving me a hard time, I feel like I'm like, oh, okay, well that's not working. Let's try a hug. Right, but I feel like sometimes when you try to do that with people, they get like more upset, And that's what I was saying earlier. It's like a lot of my relationships have been like, I know that this is like being swept under the rug, and I'm gonna like unsweep it. Like, can we talk about it? And then it's met with like more like meanness or anger. And like anger is okay, but like, repressing everything is not. So if you want to do that, like, okay. I'm going to party, that's when I get energy. Like when things don't get dealt with and I can't relax and it's just like super stressy, that's when I'm like, okay, like then I'm going to start going on a mission, Okay. Give me a card. Oh, what is it? It's the One of Swords. What a beautiful card. A fish again. There's a fish. I feel like it's official. There's a crown. Oh, I don't know what that is. Is that like some sort of coral? It's got to be something mysterious. But this is a neat one because like usually the hands in the rider waite are coming out of like clouds, and this one's coming out of a big wave. And I was saying in my reading before it went into love that I felt like there was a big, things were coming in waves. And like, I've always felt the waves, like, because I was saying how I felt from being on, like, in the trailer that was at the campground, my mom's friend's trailer, that it made me feel like I was on a boat. And like, there's been times where I've been on boats and lived on boats and traveled on little boats. I even like fixed up a catamaran once, like a gondola style. I don't know what it was, but I fiberglassed it, and like I'd come off of it and I feel like I was on it for like hours. I'd be doing yoga and I'd be like, whoa, I feel like I'm doing yoga on a boat. So the waves, like sometimes you feel them like you're on a boat. Sometimes, you feel them like hearing them, like hearing the waves, right? You ever just like stand by the ocean and just like, it's almost like they're like taking you away, right? Well, the way that I was feeling during this period of time was like they were really taking me out there, like super far. My mind was going away and like going on these like little trips. And then, with the ocean, there's moments where it's going to be like, whoa, fasten down the hatches and, like Pirates of the Caribbean. But then there's going to be times where it's like, just the sun beaming through and everything is calm and schools of fish are like all swimming everywhere, right? The Ace of Swords in this mermaid deck, I feel like, is again, it's like the fish out of water, and even like with this sword is actually like now, why is the word not coming to me? Neptune. I want to say fork. Yeah, it's fork, right? Is that what it's called? I Trident. I don't know, Neptune. Okay, I'm getting a lot of like, because the underworld. I feel like it's not really there. Like there's been many like years now where I've been tapped into this like occult knowledge because my son's father was very into like theology and had like hundreds of dollars worth of these books that the library like gave him special permission to borrow, and I had to help get them when he passed away. And they were like, really sad. And they're like, he used to come in here and like share knowledge and like he was knowledgeable. And I was like, I know, like he was fast. Like he was really fast with his knowledge. Like his willpower to understand it was really strong. And I feel like, you get these beginnings in relationships sometimes where they start off really strong and they start off like really happy and, like a holiday, like, oh my gosh, like, like a honeymoon. And, like everybody knows that like that's not supposed to last, right? But why? Like I've always challenged that, like, why can't it? Like why can't you rewire your brain to go against statistics and just be happy? Why can't you just be, and even if you're having problems, even if it's like getting wavy, right? Like even if like, oh my goodness, like here comes a big wave, right? That's just another beginning. The power of love doesn't ever go anywhere. So like, you know the red flag is when it's not just like the honeymoon phase is over, but the person has changed. And you will know because you will feel like you are changing and you are not being welcome to be yourself, right? Anyways, back to the occult thing. The underworld, the god of Neptune, the planet, the god of the underworld, is I feel like it's a very private kind of world. And I feel like a lot of people want to benefit from like this wisdom and this knowledge and power that's like mystical and like magical and healing and life altering and shifting in ways that are very potent and like really powerful, emotionally, especially. And people try to do that. A lot of people try to do that with substances. Like alcohol is commonly used, like with pirates, right? And like other types of things that are, darker and in the end from the underworld and ruled by these gods that know how to do them and have tried to pass on this knowledge through different various ways. And you can take from that, right? You can take from that as much as you want, but we need to let go of fear. You know, we need to not fear love. We need to not fear taking what we know is our birthright, which is to be a human being and to be curious about love and other people. And you know, I feel like with the world card, because I feel like they need to merge just because of how fast everything just kind of like tumbleweeded into like, I don't know, love. Like, oh my gosh, now I feel like we're entering into like a revolution. But like, I think they tie in together because oh my gosh, it's 10 past 12. Like, I'm gonna turn into a pumpkin. um that's my version of Cinderella. I'm a cleaner and I'm gonna turn into a pumpkin after midnight if I don't like it offline. No, I'm just kidding. Okay, but what was I saying? Oh yeah, merging love and these beautiful stories of like of people in the underworld, people in these like places. Um, I guess it doesn't matter. Okay, getting out of this mermaid deck now because it's like, I don't know. This crown is really saying something to me. Everybody wants to be a princess, or you know. It, it's weird. I think it's weird. Love is a weird thing. I think we naturally just we have the skills, right? And I think I was talking about not fearing love, you know, and because your relationship with yourself is like so important. Wearing that crown and channeling the energy for yourself is like really important. If things are not working for you in the way that they're working for other people, that's fine. There's a whole world of people out there. It's massive. You know when they say there's plenty of fish in the sea? Like, you don't need them. You know, I love this because it's like, it so goes with the page of cups. Like, the when you are thinking of success, like on a wealth level, it's like my grandma would tell me, I don't have a relationship with her, but like she did have some very like, you know, witty genes, and she would get this information from these places. She was really into like the metaphysical healing world, and she would pass on these little tidbits, and it always amazed me because like, you know, she would pass these on to me, but then she was the last person to ever like take her own advice. You know, like, hey grandma. That's my grandma. My grandma's like, I'm gonna give everybody else every bit of advice, but I'm just gonna like keep on like punishing myself. See, that's my grandma punishing herself. I always get that card. Here, I'm blessing my grandmother just so you know I don't hate my grandma. Because it matters that like everybody knows what she's like because of me. I'm like not trying to slander my grandmother, but anyway, she would go into all these like healing retreats and Vipassana, like come back and be like, Naomi, like you should always, you know, fill your cup like the whole way. And one time she asked me like, so where do you see yourself in 5 years? Because she's very like financial. Like my mother got that gene, I didn't. And I'd be like, I don't know, like hopefully surviving. And she'd be like, no, like you have, you know, what are you doing with your life? And I'd be like, I'm on welfare and I'm like trying to leave a relationship right now. And she'd be like, okay, well, we need to get you going. So like, I want you to imagine like the universe offering all of its wealth. You can go and get it. Okay, it's there. Now, what are you going to do? And I said, I'm going to take a yogurt container and I'm going to go and like get some wealth and come back, right? Like, and do something with it. And then she was like, no, like, hey, what am I doing wrong? And she's like, you can take as much as you want. You're going to take a yogurt container, like, you know, take a ship and fill it like a pirate, right? And bring it back like the Titanic. But I just, like, that wasn't what I wanted, right? What I wanted was emotional wealth. What I wanted was like to be the princess of my own world. I didn't need to be the princess of like everyone's world or like anyone else's world, right? Like if I'm going to be a princess, it's going to be the princess of like my own world. I'm going to be like really taking care of myself, you know, and feel like I love myself, you know, and it doesn't matter what everybody else thinks. To me, that's the most important success, right? To reach. And it's the same with emotions. Like the Page of Cups has cup, and the Page of Cups doesn't need to go and, you know, doesn't need to go anywhere, but the Page of Cups like has been traveling, has been around, has experienced and stuff, right? So there's like some knowledge, some wisdom. And the Page of Cups has everything in their cup. They don't need more. They don't need a whole plethora of cups. They don't need like 9 billion cups to choose from, right? Like you don't need 8 billion people to choose from. There just happens to be 8 billion people on the planet, right? And we especially don't need as many toilets as we have. Side note, I don't know why the planet has so many toilets. Like, you know, I guess we're really getting around. But anyways, did you know that you can actually like have a functioning toilet for $5,000 or under that uses ashes? I just think this is phenomenal. Like, check it out. I used one on an island here when I was traveling, and it was the most like amazing. It's like I felt like a princess on that toilet. It was like super ecologically safe, like biologically safe, hygienic. It was environmentally friendly, and it was like glamorous. Like it was unbelievably beautiful for a bathroom. Okay, but back to the cups. So take as much as you need, of course, right? Like all the support you need is out there in the universe, right? And you know, maybe you get it through like therapy, maybe you get it through talking with friends, maybe you get it through like swimming in the ocean or like going for a run. This is the beginning of willpower. This is the beginning of like making something happen. And I still really want to know what this is. So I'm going to look up this card because my glasses are in the living room. Ace of Swords, Mermaid deck. What is this deck called? Ah, my girl, she like came and took it. I think it's called, maybe it's called a Deck of Mermaids. It's a mini deck. Everybody's doing the locomotion. Come on, baby. Here it is, Tarot of Mermaids. Do the locomotion. Ace of Swords. Deck itself is coming up. Oh, here it is. Tarot of Mermaids, La Scarabeo. I want like the full-size deck of this deck. That looks like coral to me. Does it look like coral? It's really hard to get a good picture here with this camera. Turn the brightness down. It's not doing anything. Maybe if I turn the brightness down on my phone, so you guys can see it. Coral reef is like threatened. It's like a threatened biodiversity species. That crown is really something also. Crown chakra. I might just buy this deck while I'm like doing my reading. Okay. Coral reef meaning. I'm curious. Symbology. Who wrote the book of love? Tell me, darling. Who wrote the book of love? All right. I'm like little Miss DJ Love over here. Strength, community, and quiet, enduring growth is what it's highlighting. There's a lot going on with the coral reef. My heart feels sad for the coral reef right now and the stuff that's happening. But we're not going to focus on that. Because there's another side for the coral reef too. I do love this card. I do love me a good card. This is a good deck. I love it. I had a deck called the Shadowscapes deck and it was so beautiful. And every time I let my kids get their hands on a deck, they're like fling and like it's 52 card pick up like for the rest of its life. So sad. Oh my goodness. Okay. The world and the new beginning. It's beautiful. What else can I bring out into this mood besides the full moon, the moon card, and these beautiful cards? I love mermaids so much. I really realized how much I love mermaids. It's like I'm going through a new era. I was really into mermaids in my early 20s. So yeah, the knowledge I think is really important. But knowing what is for you, knowing like what to do and how to turn to the right things and the right people and the right, the right things that are crafted specifically for you and not just like, I think a lot of people turn to like drinking and like smoking and, things that are a little self-destructive, right? Because it can be hard sometimes. Emotions can be hard. The work of relationships, the work of healing, the work of all things. Yes, I'm reading cards and I'm all over a map. Mind map right now. Okay, love this whole era. This morning I woke up and it was like cloudy. It's June and the weather feels like very northeastern wind and it's cold. It's cold. It's like put on your rain boots and your rain jacket. It was just really like cold, crisp, winter cold. Like it was just very strange. And then it rained, which is good. Like it's nice to not have to water all those pink flowers. And then when I picked up my girl, the skies just broke open and there was all these gorgeous blue clouds. Like there's been so much blue energy probably from like the mermaid deck, honestly. And also like these songs that were coming on, when I'm listening to songs a lot of the time, it's like I hear it the way that I have been speaking on this channel, like very kind of like multi languages at once. It almost feels like this song that came on that was like on our iconic rock station. It's called 100.3 The Q, and my parents used to listen to it with every party they ever had. They'd have like the rock, the Islands rock, and it would be coming out of their like Ghetto Blaster. And even though the Ghetto Blaster was like $100 at Future Shop, it felt like it was like pumping out of these like PA speakers because my parents just had this vibe, right? But they really brought from like the north. They were stuck inside a trailer a lot of the time. Good for me. I'm a homebody. I loved it. But, it was probably like they really needed to be social. So they would have these parties and they brought this energy down and just had this like vibe, and like people would just magnetize towards them. And they always had music going, and it just, it reminded me of like how I used to hear when I was younger, like lately. I used to hear music when I was younger, like when my parents were partying and I was like in bed, or like, which wasn't like all the time or anything like that, or like in the car. Like we had some, you know, really ups and downs roller coaster times during, before the internet was around, before any of this stuff was around. There's a lot of uncertainty, a lot of like, you know, what's going on in the world, right? Like we don't have it at our fingertips. So what's happening? And lately with music, it's been like, I've been hearing it like that, like lightning, just certain words, you know, like lightning, like nature elements, and very, you know, very powerful ones. So, right, like stars and lightning. And I don't know if it's just the way it's coming through, but like that's how I channel, like that's how the messages come through for me, is a lot of it is sound waves, water, you know. So I think I'm kind of I'm kind of getting over it. I'm kind of feeling like, okay, like, let's see this all happen. And like I'm still making a decision on whether or not I'm going to be able to go to that wedding, because it's a lot going to a wedding. I've never really been to a funeral. Okay, like I'm going to tell you honestly, like I can't. There's so much toxicity in my families that I just can't do it. I stay away from it because it's like, it's so much to hold, it's so much to bear, right? And that's what's this card is like, don't hold stuff that's not yours. Like, just don't. I know it's like really like off-putting for some people to be like, well, it's my family, you know, and you're telling me like not to, you know, help them or whatever. But honestly, like if you want to have a strong relationship with yourself, and if there's like toxic energy, toxic relationships, stuff that's just gonna like, I'm not saying the wedding is gonna do this, but like all the times that I've ever, like even my mom, like having a celebration of life for her was becoming an issue right off the bat, because there's just so much like speculation and drama, and like, you know, it's not a bad thing, but I don't want that around me when I'm trying to celebrate life, right? I'm more of a celebrator. I'm more of like a, you know, like do things in their honor and like have fun, be kind. And a lot of people want to just, I don't know. Oh, here, I got this card last night. So that's beautiful confirmation. See, like I like it when things are like, I don't know. I can't even cry when I'm around people that are like blocked, you know, and not want to just hold on to grudges and stuff like that. They'll learn. 3 of Cups. That's great. That's beautiful. 3 of Cups is celebration. Again, like weddings. There's a lot of feminine energy in this one. It makes me think again of like a revolution, you know, like imagine listening to like Stevie Nicks, Joni Mitchell, and like Tori Amos or something. That's like a good day for me in the car. I love being in the car and like singing. But yeah, all these like love songs have come to my head too since last night. So that's what made me come back, right? It's like a good coffee shop. You guys really fill my cup. All 3 of them. And me. My kids love how I've been since I started this channel. They've been like just more engaged with me. Like when we're at thrift stores and stuff, like they're more expressive. Like I said, they found these like today, you know? And what else did I find? I don't know, my lovebirds picture. Do you guys want to see it again? I know you do. I know you want to stare at it because they're so cute. I always forget what they're called, like macaw or something. If anybody knows what they are, tell me. I know they're in my head. I just always forget. Because to me, they're lovebirds, and they always will be. Crows are lovebirds too. Oh, I saw like a picture. I can't remember what the word said, but it was like a wire, and there was like two silhouettes of birds, lovebirds that were like snuggling. So that was definitely a sign. It'll be interesting to see, like, because there's been like a lot of breakups going on forever in like Hollywood and the media and like even the royal family and stuff. And I feel like there's going to be some cycle breakers out there. And this is just all love, okay? All encompassing, like, again, the world, right? Not just romantic, but like love in general. Lovebirds, especially. Oh my god, I should go to Costa Rica, or where are they? Where are they? Tell me. No, I'm just kidding. Love is not possession. Okay, love is humble. Love is kind. Love is forgiving. Love heals everything. Love is, you know, like the song, imagine all the people living for today. Yoo-hoo. Yoko Ono and John Lennon. There's so many things that try to destroy love and try to like break your idea of love. And it's not good at all. You know, Mario saves the princess, and if it's not him, it's one of his friends. So there's nothing anybody can do. Like, if people want to treat life and love like it's a game or a competition or like some crazy like labyrinth that like they have the key map to, it's just, that's, you know, that's not love. That's not the world. That's not what the world is all about. All right, let's close off. This is a sorrow card. We'll just let that happen. Okay, we have the Queen of Pentacles. Again, these cards are so slippery. I need to like rub them with something. Soak them. I need to like soak them and then like hang them with like clothespins. Queen of Pentacles. Wealth. Okay. Yeah, we can do that. Right? We have our one big love pentacle from last night. So, you know, and we have our crown. We have the Queen of the Sea and we have the Queen of the Earth. We have it all. We have the goddess. We have Stevie, Joni. We have everybody. We have the whole revolution. Love is like gonna revolve. Is that how it works? Revolution. It's gonna revolute. It's gonna rev up. How can we, as a collective, receive this love and begin our journey? Do you think it's like a dragon? I'm thinking of writing a song about a dragon because I feel like dragons need love. Like, they're so big and they like have so much emptiness, you know, it's filled with fire, and it's like they've just been alone. Who knows what they came out? They could have been peas, you know, like in the ground or something, and all of a sudden it was just this like, I don't know. Okay, we got two cards here. We got Wheel of Fortune and we got the Star. The Star is just coming on in. Like, I think someone's going to see a shooting star very soon. The Wheel of Fortune is so similar to the world. It's funny that it's coming out like this, the elements and all of that. Even just kind of like this dragon creature here. That's kind of cool. It's like I just said, I don't feel like people want to play games. I feel like we want to alchemize the things that are not good for us and start harvesting the love. Yeah. Harvest. Harvest all that love, baby. We should like reverse the country music. Okay, I'm gonna do one of these because this is like a winged spirit card, this Wheel of Fortune card to me. Very winged. Winged like lovebirds. What would a country song be like if it was about lovebirds? You guys think it would be a good song? You know, like visiting the lovebirds when I was down and out. I don't know if I'm a very good country music writer. I have a little country music song that I started a long time ago, and every time I sing it, I feel like physically kind of sad. I'll play it for you guys in a minute, okay? Because it's a really sad song. It's a song about sorrow, which this is this card, actually. This card, this is like, I did this the other night. Like I did this last night because I don't know why. I don't know why I did it. I got up, made some Rice Krispies, and I listened to the Snap, Crackle, and Pop in my cup because I put them in a mug because it was like those camping style ones. And I was like retro, like I have this like gift. I don't have a clairvoyance gift for like what's happening like literally in the future. Like it's more about like seeing history and like kind of untraumatizing myself, I guess. But like more about past life regression is more my gift. And I just like, you know, I sat in my bed and I just cried it out. It was like a good thing. I actually saw some stuff. I never go on Facebook because of this, but I check in because I have a couple friends that are really going through it, and I know they're faking it on Facebook, and I'm like, I see you like pretending. And I like to just send little messages, like if someone's birthday, like one of my friends had a birthday, and you know who you are, you know, just stuff like that. But I'll happen to catch some crazy stuff, and then it boggles my mind because it's like, why? You know, like why is this injustice happening, or like why are those people like so blind and unaware to like what's so obvious, you know? And how can we change that? We can't. And then, you know, I have to cry. So it's not a bad thing. Sorrow is part of growth. In this case, it's not directly, you know, hurting anyone. No one's directly doing it. It's just, you know, it's like a nightmare, right? Like nightmares have a purpose too. It's good to subconsciously tune in and be ready for things that might not have been able to be felt. It's good to have a space for that, sacred space. You know, I get up in the night a lot when I'm not dealing with stuff the way that I would prefer to deal with it. I end up like waking up at like 3:30 and then 5:30, and then, you know, it happens for days and days and days, and then like I mentally become burnt out, but then I also like physically feel like if I don't sleep by like 10 tonight, and I'm not really an early bird, I'm usually a night owl. I usually take power naps because I don't know, it's just in my blood. But when I'm like, if I have a big day, I do go to bed early. Tomorrow, Sunday. There's like a whole song about that. It's a kid song. It's really cute. It's like on Sunday we wash our clothes and we water the flowers and get ready for the things that we don't want to do on Monday, right? No. We sit in bed. Oh look, there's the Fool. It's my favorite card in the deck. It's so beautiful, a stained glass window. And he even has a fish. Okay, I think that's enough of that. But yeah, see how that's so fitting? I'll save all these cards and make a cool little video after, because this is very special to me, very sacred. Let's get a winged spirit though before we go, because that's what this deck is. And look at it. It's so gorgeous. It's so beautiful. It's beautiful. I'm blue, da ba dee da ba da. It's my blue era. With my blue deck. Even my eyes are blue, you just can't tell. My car is blue, my house is blue. Oh look, the world. That's so neat. So it's full circle. Okay, I'm gonna tell you all the things that are in her ribbons, like the ribbons that we have. Without even looking at my glasses, there is a sword, of course. There's a rose, I think. At least I see a rose. My neighbor gave his wife a rose the other day. It was so cute. And it was yellow for loyalty. So we have the sun and the moon on each side of her, there and there. Which is like me. I had the moon today and the sun yesterday. Although I couldn't see the moon tonight. Maybe I'll be able to see it later. I feel like there's like scales or ribbons or something there. I can't make it all out. I need to magnify glass. I wish I could just zoom in on it. But yeah, her wings are beautiful. It's a beautiful card. So we have two worlds. There's two worlds here. Now, which one are we going to choose? We have the Wheel of Fortune. We have the Star. So a lot of light coming into the world. We have like, I feel like the Fool in this card has like a higher power, you know? It's like a higher power there that's like, you know how like your higher power is like not really there, like you can't see it, but like it's very present. I think that's really important to note. Queen of Pentacles. Don't let this image leave your guys' mind. It's so important. It's the wealth of love. It's emotional wealth. It's so good. It's true. It's treasure. It's treasure from the bottom. The best part. And then the Star. All right. I feel like I'm going into like a meditative state now. Okay, I'll play you guys a little bit of my song, okay? This is a really old song when I first started like making songs. It's snowing outside and the coffee's on. It's been hell for me since I've been gone. I wanna run away to cure the pain. In the rain, in the pouring rain. My Canada sorrow. My Canada sorrow. Okay, I don't remember the rest of it. I'll dig it up in my book, which I have. Just want to make sure my kids didn't take it. Okay, this is my songbook. It's missing the back, which is okay. I'm going to give it a new back. And I'm going to work on some songs and share some songs with you guys for June. June is so special. It's like Alice in Wonderland. It never fails that I always go down the rabbit hole in June. And I don't want to lose all of these cards, so I'm going to put them in a separate little spot for you and try and make more sense of it, because I feel like I was just thinking out loud the whole time that I was doing this, when really there's a lot going on. But I think I'm shifting into more of like a curious journey into the garden of music. All right, here's your guys' cards. They're beautiful. They're fantastic. I promise you. Sending you energy of love. All kinds of love. Ace of Swords. Fool. Think of the songs like, you know, the song by Jewel, like Foolish Games. These foolish games. We got the Wheel of Fortune. This one reminds me of Rush, which I heard at the campsite. There's some really good Rush songs. A lot of it is just like very intense. My mom's favorite band was Rush. But there's a few songs of theirs that just send me into like totally different place. The World. She's pregnant, I think. 9 of Swords. 3 of Cups, which I got last night. A good reminder to celebrate. Find some friends. Queen of Pentacles. Our Wealth. A lot of people get into relationships because of money. Why? Like the Star. And remember, this is a sneaky card. I feel like this is the sneaky part of it, is like, it can look like what you think it's going to be, but then it's not. It's just a reflection. The World again. 2 worlds, right? There's 2 worlds you can choose from now, not just 2 roads. And then we're back at the Ace of Swords. Yeah. And I think there's a strong message about being in your own world. Could be good for you. So I'll put these in my drawer. Will it be safe for you guys? And you will get a special video. Okay. I appreciate you guys being here. Do you guys think I'm the Queen of Pentacles? I feel like the crown in the one card, the Ace of Swords, reminds me of, I don't think I'll ever be able to get it back, but I made these CDs once when I was busking. Like, I used to busk here with my guitar that got stolen in Kelowna, sadly. I was so sad. It was such a special guitar. It had like these tiny little stars that you probably can't even get anymore. They were like stars you could get at like craft stores. They were little tiny gold stars. And I had like Mod Podged them onto the neck of my guitar, where all like in between the strings. And they would like flicker in the sunlight when I was busking. And I'd make pretty good money busking. And I had all these CDs and I like sold them. They were expensive, like back in 2005. I made like, I think 10 or 20 CDs, and I printed out all the CD covers for them. Do you guys know what CDs are? Do you remember CDs? And they had pictures, like a mosaic of pictures, and some of them were like the ocean, some of them were like mountains or trees or whatever. And they were all done by my friend that was a photographer, my parents' friend, like amazing photographer. I have like quite a few photographer friends. Anyways, one of them was me, and I was in front of a bunch of trees. And the way that all these pictures kind of came together and how I did this mosaic, it looked like I was in the trees with like a crown of trees. Like, it was this weird optical illusion. It was so cool. It's amazing what you can do with cameras. Speaking of cameras, my camera is like on the floor. It's like not a good place for a camera, lady. My gosh, and you call yourself like a Queen of Pentacles? Okay, it's better. Anyways, why was I talking about that? Oh yeah, because the crown in the Ace of Swords, it reminds me of the way that crown looked. Like, it didn't look like a chintzy crown, but it didn't look like a royal, like, you know, monarchy crown. It looked like a crown from like the ancient earth, you know, like it was coming out of my head. It was really cool. It wasn't creepy. It sounds creepy, but it wasn't creepy. It's actually really, really special, and I miss that whole era. And I wish I had those CDs, but no. In this life, I wasn't meant to hold on to stuff and have a whole archive of like all my stuff. And that's that. Okay. You guys are the best. And you guys are all in love. Okay. Somebody wants to ask a question. Am I too late to say yes? I don't have my glasses, but I can see this. Ask me. I'm so excited. If you ever have a question and like you want it to be answered and it seems like it's like going to come from some distant place, like it's right there inside of you. I feel like all the answers are inside of us. Something is definitely moving into a Queen of Pentacles era, and I feel like it's a gardenish type June energy. And the interesting thing is like Australia is moving into winter, and we're about to hit summer solstice here while they hit winter solstice. And I love Australia because it's like it's many things, but they have some beautiful botanical gardens, and I just really want to go see those lovebirds. I have to get rich like the Queen of Pentacles so I can go see some lovebirds. But for now, I have you guys. You guys are my lovebirds, and I love you all so very much. And if you're here with me, thank you for being here whenever you are here. And I'll post some songs for you guys in the next couple weeks, just like I did tonight. But also, like, I'm doing some recording, and if you have any like suggestions on good music, let me know. I'm really into the Cockatoo Twins, I think they're called. The song Frou Frou tonight played, and it was really neat because it's like their own language. It almost sounds like, you know, maybe they're like, they do have a background in another language, but to me it sounds like nonsense, which I feel like June is just going to be all about nonsense. And yeah, so have fun with that. Okay, guys, I love you. You are in my thoughts and my visions and my cards and my inspiration and my music and my dreams. And I hope I'm in all of yours too, if that's not too creepy. All right, I love you.